Hey everyone, and welcome to an Echoes Ramble. Today we're going to be talking about industry, specifically how over the next couple of months, industry should be booming again. But before I go any further, don't forget to hit subscribe if you happen to enjoy these videos, and let's get on with the video. So, as we all know, industry has taken a bit of a downturn over recent months and years. Ever since the implementation of insurance, there has been a consistent lack of demand for minerals and PI. Every time a new release comes out, there happens to be something big and new that we get to go and spend all of our stockpiles on to get that new ship or new module or new structure, whatever it happens to be. Now, of course, every time this happens, it is a very short-lived event, because after a month, maybe 2 months, the majority of alliances and corporations and so on have gotten all of their big ships or big structures in that the latest update will have incurred. Now, with this particular update, as we're going to be seeing, there is more than just a couple of things, let's say, with regards to building. So let's start at the beginning, shall we? So if I make my way across to the relevant screenshots, we have the faction cruisers and the navy or fleet issue battleships. What you'll see up on screen at the moment is they require, not only are they brand new ships that we have to build, but they also require 2 hulls of their original variants. In the case of the Apocalypse Navy issue, you need 2 Apocalypse Strikers. This is with 0 skills, by the way. It is entirely possible, although I have not checked it myself, that you might only require 1 hull with adequate skill training. It's possible, I haven't checked it yet, please don't quote me. But what you're seeing here is a demand not only for minerals and planetary materials to build these new ships, but we're also seeing a demand for the hulls that they are based on, the ship hulls. In addition to that, we're also seeing the fullerene fibre. That is created from the gases, which is the gas mining that we now have in the game. And again, if we go back across to the chameleon, it requires 2 healers. I'm trying to avoid saying Gila, even though that's how it's written. It's a healer. And once again, the fullerene fibres. Of course, it requires more than just megasite and morphite. There is a lot more materials required. It just can't fit it all on that one screenshot. So we have these new ships. We also have the Science Sea carrier. Of course, with the carrier, the cruisers and the battleships, at the moment nobody is building them because the event is currently going on and you can get all of these ships without having to build them. But as soon as this event ends, the only way you're going to be able to get all of these ships that I've just mentioned will be through having them built by your indie guys, or maybe by yourself if you are the indie guy. So we've got all of those new ships on the way, but of course, like every other ship, once everybody's got the ship, there's no more building of them because of how the insurance system works, right? This is where NetEase have come up with a rather fresh new idea. And I have to give them a compliment here because it's not very often that they have these fresh new ideas. And this particular idea, as you can see up on screen at the moment if you're watching, don't worry if you're not, it's nothing big and important. If you go into the corporation menu, scroll down on the left hand side, and I say scroll because you won't see it otherwise, at the very, very bottom you'll see corporation tech. Now this is a tech tree. And what happens with this tech tree is, as you level up these particular components, you get upgrades to the structures that you'll be deploying as a corporation. Now, how do you upgrade the tech tree? That's the genius bit. Unfortunately, I can't get screenshots of it myself, not being a corp leader. But every week, the Concord issues a list of demands to every corporation in the game. Those demands are production related. So it'll include, say, it'll want 20 C-type shield boosters or 50 Myrmidons it'll randomly generate a list of things for the corporation to build. Once the corporation has built all of those things, it submits them to Concord and gets a bunch of currency. As you can see, the white C in the top right corner with a blue background. So you get this currency by submitting all of these things that you have made to Concord. You then get points for it that, as I understand it, you spend on upgrading your way through the tech tree and getting bonuses to your corporation structures. And the important thing to note here is everything that is given to Concord is automatically destroyed and removed from the game. It's not being recirculated infinitely around players who are going to keep it alive with insurance. No, it's gone. It's a permanent mineral and planetary material sink right there. I say permanent. Of course, eventually, given enough time, every corporation in the game might just happen to fill out this tech tree. But I'm hoping, I really, really am hoping, and it is helpful that there is a cap on every single week on how much you can do this. But I'm hoping this is designed to last, in that it takes us like 6 months for each corporation to max it out, for example. That is me hoping. Of course, I can't see the actual progress in real time and how much materials and stuff it all requires. But the point I'm getting at here is, even if it takes 4 months or 6 months for a single corporation to fill all of this out, the amount of materials that are required on a weekly basis to meet that limit are going to be humongous. So there is going to be a never seen before demand for your materials and planetary materials. So yeah, if you are a miner or an industrialist and you've spent the past 12 months thinking there's nothing left in it for me anymore, it's all about ratting, it's all about doing PvE, having the AI bot on your fancy golden nanocore, there is now increasing demand for miners to get out there. I can't speculate on what the prices of the minerals and stuff will rise to, but I would not be surprised if it became at least as competitive as the AI nanocore when out mining in a covered or two. So yeah, that's it really. We have, to summarise, the new Navy battleships, which require ship hulls. We have the chameleon, I need to get this right. The new faction cruisers, which are improved versions of the original faction cruisers, which again require the original faction cruisers' ship hulls as part of the deal. We have the Science Sea carrier. Oh, and for those of you that haven't clicked away yet, we also have upcoming super carriers. These are rumoured to be dropping in the first week of June. We have no official date as of yet as to when they are going to be dropping. But as we will expect of NetEase, every time a new big ship is released, it's bigger than the last one, and it requires even more materials than the one before that and the one before that. So we have new ships to use up our small amounts of stockpiles at an individual level. We have the corporation tech tree for at the corporation level for us to burn all year round our resources into. And we have the fancy new ships, that being the super carriers, which are most likely going to require a tremendous amount of minerals and planetary materials. This one, however, unlike the corporation tech tree, I don't expect this one to last quite so long with regards to demand. Because after all, it is a ship, and a ship can be respawned, regenerated through the insurance system. That is, of course, presuming that this goes through the insurance system. If we recall, the insurance system isn't as effective for regular capital ships. It is entirely possible that this cannot even be insured. And if that is the case, then that's another bonus point towards industrialists. But we've yet to find that out for ourselves. But anyway, that's me rambling for now. In a few weeks' time, once these, I was going to say events then, once all of these factors have started to settle in and we start seeing improvements to the prices of minerals, I might just take out a covet or two and see how much money it makes on a full hold in Nullsec. But until then, thanks again for listening. If you're still around at this point in the video, feel free to hit like or subscribe. It really, really does help. And I'll cut the ramble there. Thanks again.